they still do the whole switching the crop?
Some do, some don't. You don't have
My
to.
grandma used to tell me about that.
Yeah, so a lot of people rotate corn and beans one year or another, but we're just continuous corn.
So what are cover crops?
Basically what cover crops are is it's a crop that's not intended to be harvested for sale, so not like the corn or soybeans, but it's something that we're growing on our fields in the times that those other crops are not growing. There was actually the climate change talks over in France a few months ago. And one of the things they talked about is if we can use more cover crops and stuff, that'll actually put carbon from the air back into the soil. And that's one of the ways we could actually minimize climate change.
So what would be one?
Yeah, so the real common one that's working pretty well here right now is to use cereal rye, which is a small grain crop that normally would be growing in like the Dakotas or Canada further north. And so on our farm, what we do is we plant that within a day of when we harvest our crop, and we allow that to grow throughout the winter. And what it does is it takes up any of the excess nutrients that are in our soil, and it also helps to hold the soil so we eliminate erosion. As farmers, erosion's bad, so we want to try to minimize it. The best thing we can do is the less we have to do tillage to the soil, where we work it and loosen it and that kind of stuff. Generally, the less of that we can do, the soil it literally kind of glues itself together so that it won't erode as much.
Why do they not clear out the old crops?
Why do they leave stalks in the field?
Yeah.
Residue to help control runoff. Keeps holding moisture in there.
So where does all the corn end up?
For the most part, the corn you see growing out in the field is going to feed animals, cattle, pigs, and go to ethanol.
The leaves and the plant material. And so that's called cellulosic ethanol, and they're able to break down the corn stalks and so forth and turn that into ethanol. So now it's a part that, isn't used for feed or food or any, and they're able to turn. Right, and they're able to turn that into ethanol. When you use a kernel, 100% of that kernel isn't going into ethanol. Only about 60% of it is. The other 40% is actually going back into the feed supply for livestock. So we're actually being more efficient with how we're using the corn that way.
So when is sweet corn going to be ready?
I'd say the 1st of July.
The good
I'd say the 1st of July we should have sweet corn around here.
That's a very small amount of corn that's grown in Iowa, less than 1%. And that is not what we see here. This is your field corn, so this will go into ethanol and feed and that kind of thing. Whereas sweet corn, you eat on the ear, and that's a completely different kind of crop.